10 rebounds and 15 assists.
Well, Washington shooting 43% from the three-point line. Good night from the deep area.
Yes, indeed. This could be a marquee matchup right there.
Here's Serge Ibaka after the game.
Yeah. You know, this is NBA, man. You know, I know. And when you relax like we did in the second half, you know, team's gonna come back. You know, because you know we start so early, getting easy bucket, and we kind of relax. You know, but they didn't give up. You know, you have to give them a lot of credit because sometimes, you know, when teams down like that, they always give up. But you know, they was keeping fighting, and then that's why we had a close game. Yeah, you know, Kawhi is a tough guy, you know, and he was in great position under the basket and ball, you know, to grab the rebound. Also, because I was spacing, you know, to let him play one-on-one. That's why I had that open threes. I think tonight he played like a superstar. You know, that's how we need him to play. You know, he did his job. That's his job as a superstar. You know, where we need him to step up and make big play like he did tonight.
Wasn't one of the complaints with Washington that they didn't share the basketball, they didn't move the basketball, and suddenly 36 assists in a game tonight for the Wizards. That's a special number.
Yeah, they've been averaging over 30 assists in the game since John Wall has been out. But, I mean, Bradley Beal, a big part of that. This is the second time in the last month we've seen him get 15 assists. I mean, there's one thing for him to have a 40-point triple-double, triple overtime game against the Phoenix Suns. It's another thing for him to do it, 3D, against a team like the Raptors with the Wizards down in the fourth quarter. Are the Wizards restoring your faith that they could actually be a playoff team this year? When you see a game like this, I know there's no moral victories, but to see how they fought against the team with the most wins in the NBA.
If you're a Wizards fan, Chris, to your question, you saw some fight tonight you hadn't seen in a while. And also to Coach's point with the 36 assists, it kind of feeds off with last year's moniker where it's coach. When every time John Wall wasn't playing, they said more, we all eat more. Well, 36 assists proves that we all eat. So the question is now, Chris, can you bring this fight you showed us tonight all the way up to the All-Star break to your question, kind of believe that maybe we can fight for a spot? And that's the thing for me, Coach, that don't let this be a one-game stand where you get down by 25 points, your local crowd starts booing you first, and then you get back in the ball game, you find some energy, and then you make a game of it in double overtime.
Hasn't it seemed like Washington's had a horrendous season up to this point? But when you look at the standings, they're 2 games out of the 8th spot for the playoffs, so it either means the East is really bad, okay, or they've kind of been deceiving, just hanging around long enough to maybe make a move in the second half of the season.
Well, I think to this conversation, Coach, you can say 1 through 5, those teams we kind of believe, they're going to be solid. Maybe before Dragic went down for the Heat, you probably would give them a little more, solid playoff push. But 6 down to 10, it's been fluctuating all season long, to your point. So now John Wall goes down, and then they start playing better basketball. But wait a minute, he's your franchise player. So now, from being up in D.C., a lot of the conversation is, well, wait a minute, John Wall's done for the season. This team is playing better. Now, do we make a move for the trade deadline and maybe shore up our front line and make our rebound a little bit better and maybe hold on to that 8th spot?
Well, who's the move?
That's what I'm saying.
Who would the move be?
I don't know.
Because somebody's got an awful big contract there. I mean, like really big contract.
I mean, really big.
Yeah, really big.
I believe you're talking about John Wall.
Who? No.
Well,
what?
Yeah.
Well, let's focus on the team with the most wins in the NBA right now. The Toronto Raptors, seeing how they were able to, again, we talked about the Wizards fighting. The Raptors could have easily been like, okay, this is a game where they have the energy, they take the win. Raptors continue to lead the league in wins. Their only loss since the start of the new year against the San Antonio Spurs. We know that was an emotional game for them with Kawhi Leonard going back down there. When you look at this Toronto team, do you see them as being the favorites coming out of the East to go to the NBA Finals? Not just winning the regular season, but going to the Finals.
Well, Toronto, along with Milwaukee right now, are the 2 best teams in the Eastern Conference. And let's face it, everybody was expecting Boston to come out and have a sensational beginning of the season, beginning of the regular season. But unfortunately, this is not the same Boston team that finished up at the end of last year. You have 2 guys that came back that weren't there at the end, Kyrie and Hayward, and the chemistry and the same fire isn't there right now that was there at the end of last season during the playoffs, during that great matchup against the Cavaliers. So, the question is why?